Okay, today, story time, but not the kind with heroes or happy endings. This one's smaller, and it digs down. It's about ants. Tiny lives, tiny thoughts, big feelings. Our story opens in a university lab, clean, organized, a place of study, but with dirt and ants. I'd like you to imagine two ant farms sitting side by side on a counter. One is red, the other blue. Now, due to a manufacturing glitch, the red farm has clear glass. The ants inside can see out. But the blue farm has mirrored glass. So when the ants look outward, they see only themselves. In the beginning, this doesn't seem to matter. For several days, both farms function the same. The ants dig, they build, they carry, and they rest. But eventually, the red ants, with their clear glass, explore right to the edge of their world, and they begin to see something else. It just so happens that if the red ants climb to the very top of the highest anthill and climb one particular stick, and if the light happens to come through the window of the lab just right, the red farm ants can glimpse something beyond their own farm. It's another world, a blue one. Sometimes they also see figures, these big, white, robed figures that move around the room. They're free from the walls that define the ants' world. And these whitecoats, as they started to call them, they offer no explanation of who or what they are. They're just seen. Now, let's just pause here. What do we think happens as word spreads? Right? Some ants have climbed and they've seen this, and they start talking about it. Some ants get excited. Others confused. The stick of vision becomes this sacred thing. Guards are posted, and only a chosen few may climb. But restricting access makes the ants want it even more. And speculation spreads. Some say the whitecoats are gods. Some say they're judges. Others believe they don't care about the ants at all. And the truth doesn't matter as much as the belief, because belief changes everything. The red farm begins to fracture. Factions form, rules are written, arguments flare. They forget how to live together. Despite sharing the same tunnels, they act as if their beliefs make them different. Preoccupation with what lies beyond their world causes them to forget how to be ants. And they stop digging properly. Tunnels collapse. Some blame each other, others blame the whitecoats for not intervening. They're living in their thoughts instead of their farm. And meanwhile, in the blue farm, still ants, still digging, still eating, still seeing only themselves. The blue farm is a lush, peaceful world, but the ants there have no idea because they have nothing to compare it to. Then, one afternoon, something happens. A clumsy grad student bumps the table. Panic, confusion, and the scientists gather around to watch. Two farms, two reactions. In the blue farm, the ants pause, and then, collectively, they respond. They rebuild together. In the red farm, the bump divides them even further. Some call it a test, others punishment. A few sit in silence, unsure what any of it means. One ant, we'll call him Mo's ant, writes rules on grains of sand. Live like this, he says, and the whitecoats will be kind again. Some listen, others don't, but all of them are searching, not just for sight, but for understanding. They want meaning. They want security. They want to climb the stick. But under that pressure, the stick eventually breaks. No one sees anything anymore, but the ache remains, the ache to understand what was once glimpsed, and that ache becomes everything. The red farm slowly unravels, not from hunger, not from disaster, but from trying too hard to understand what was never meant to be known. And as the collapse becomes inevitable, the whitecoats step in. They reach into the red farm and they lift a few ants out. and they placed them into the Garden of Eden-like world of the blue farm. We don't know why, maybe for compassion, maybe for study. But what was of note to the scientists was what followed, because the red farm ants brought something with them, not on their bodies, but in their heads, their beliefs. And those beliefs spread quickly. Did you know there's more out there? I heard there was a red farm. Do you think the whitecoats are watching us too? And it didn't take long before the mirrored glass of that blue farm started to shimmer. Now, if you could speak to the ants of the blue farm, if you could lean in close in a way they might somehow be able to hear you, what would you say? Would you tell them to believe even harder? To climb the stick again? To figure it out? Or would you say, you're enough. Just be an ant. You don't need to climb. You don't need to know what's out there. You don't need to be anything more than you are. Because being what you are, simply being, is the whole thing. And maybe, just maybe, if one ant could feel that, like really feel it, notice the urge to measure and just observe it, that ant might sit beside another ant, not to fix anything, not to explain for benefit, but just to be. And that, quietly, might be the beginning of something new. Not about gods or whitecoats, not about meaning, but about ants, just being ants together.